we're live here, so. State road. Oh, the spring water. Well, that would be a lot better, because then they wouldn't be beating up our roads. I have not, and that guy calls me quite often, he owns that. I mean, the meat processing, yeah. Yeah, they're all running. Oh, okay, Terry. Yeah. Yeah. They would have to have property rights or carry easement one too. Yeah. So we'll just have to see what happens with that again. I just wanted to keep it. I haven't. No, he was telling me that at breakfast table a couple of weeks ago. Oh, that sounds great to me. Yeah. On my agenda here. Is that from today? Is that from today?
No, this is that school I gotta talk to you about tonight.
Oh, I thought maybe you had something from Oklahoma. Huh? Oklahoma, did you go out there today?
I did, it's fine. It's freshly graded, freshly stoned. I thought it's been taken care of, so.
That church right there by the silver church.
Yeah.
They own property back in there?
They bought it all.
Oh, that's what I thought. I thought this and that went together, didn't they, at one time?
Well, I'm not so sure. I know they bought the house, they tore the house down.
What do they want to do here, Greg?
That is a school now, and it is functioning. They've built all diamonds and different things there, so what I need is a school zone. A lot of horse and buggies in and out of there every morning.
Is this the only road here, or is there
No,
another one?
there's two. It's intersection at Denmark and Beach Church.
Okay. Oh, there's one going across too.
Yeah, Denmark crosses
Okay.
out of Clay County and then Beach Church.
That's one ground too.
I'd like there to be a school zone. Really needs to include a ball diamond, so it'd be
Children to play.
children at schools at reduced speed while children are present.
Yeah.
Because I believe the proper, that's what it is up at school, and it's only during school hours.
Or school presence. Who knows?
Well, they seem to follow our school year.
I was gonna say, we need some kind of hours of operation too, I know most of the school zones are marked like
Oh.
7:30 to.
I can tell you,
9
they leave school at 3:30 every day, and they start school at 8 o'clock.
Have no trouble. 8 to 3.
Yeah. I was there today just to see what was going on, and I would estimate 20 horse and buggies going in and out of there when they left this afternoon.
A bunch of them then.
There's a slew.
Well, I wonder if they'll stay, because every other community that they put together, they've all faded away. There's only one family left out there by me, and at one time there must have been 50 or 60 of them out there.
I'd say probably not.
Yeah, they just moved in another area. Yep. I'm sorry. All right, folks, I'm gonna call the meeting to order here. Start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sam, would you care to lead us in prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we come before you today to give you honor, reward, praise. Thank you for that absolutely wonderful day. Just need this weather like it's all year round. Thank you, claims. So we just appreciate your love and mercy and grace, man, and Lord guide us all together as one group. Guide the commissioners and help us just achieve the goals that need to be achieved for the betterment of this community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sam.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, folks. If you haven't signed in, there's a sign-up sheet over there on the podium. Appreciate everybody being here. We have all three commissioners present. So the first business is approval of minutes. Do I hear a,
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I have a motion by Bob.
I'll second.
Have a second by Dell. All in favor? Aye. There you go. There's a sign-up sheet. Okay, next up is approval of claims. Claims total is $351,052.12. We are continuing to pay the general fund claims out of Lit Edit and Riverboat. And at that point, I'll let Jim make any comment that he might want to on the financial situation.
Okay, Commissioners, one, good evening, and two, taking a look at our claims. As everyone knows, the payroll portion of the claims are being paid out of the general fund. Again, just kind of update that. The amount roughly coming in to the county is in the range of $200,000 to $225,000 each month as far as receipt of income to the general fund, and that's fairly close to the payroll. So that program is continuing. No other claims are being paid out of the general fund, so a little bit of a difference if you want to take a look at from November 30th of 2020. We go back a year, 11 months. There were 17 funds in the red on November 30th of 2020, and the total negative balance was $3,973,904. The general fund was in the red in the range of about 1.9 million. The difference now, as October 15th, that we're taking, one, there's 10 funds rather than 17 in the red. So seven have been eliminated as far as being in the red. The total negative is 1.213054, which is a difference of over $2.7 million. So the programs, Commissioners, by all the things that you have initiated, the programs by the county council, and the very hard work by the department, we're looking towards the possibility of eliminating about a $3.9 million deficit in a single year. Okay, I think that's a true credit to the entire county. As far as of today on the 15th, there's the 10 funds that are in the red. The general fund is $207,497. That is going down each month, which is good. There's still obviously another payroll though in the month of October. So good, we're not there. But all the programs and all the initiatives are going well. As far as your claims tonight, it was, as Commissioner Berkeley stated, $351,052.12. Primarily, the majority of those claims are coming out of the highway and are being paid out at 1169, 1173, and 1176. As far as general fund claims, not including out of cycle, Riverboat, the claims towards Riverboat for tonight is $4,607.90, and then the Lit Edit claims total $59,555.94. In your fund balances, every claim that you're approving tonight, there's a positive balance with two exceptions. These are both grants. 8904, the COVID Indiana Criminal Justice has a claim of $8,000. There's a zero fund balance in there. One of the things I guess I'll use the word put on the radar, or just keep in your mind, the grant of 9161, the Community Corrections Grant, it has another claim of $928. That's in the red now of $24,700. So I think that Mike's going to take a look at that, and if you don't have any objections, I'll kind of review that and have an update at the November meeting. It's a grant fund. I know how those work, you pay and reimburse, but I do have just a minimal concern that is going up and the fact that it's $24,000. Highway funds, then I'll cease, but on the highway funds, the claims tonight from highway, for Cumulative Bridge, it's $13,525.33. For 1169 local road and street, it's $121,824.20. 1173 MVH, that's the restricted portion, $57,160.68, and 1176 MVH is $22,158.61. Those are the claims. It does not include payroll. Roughly, this is just ballpark. I mean, and I'm saying this is a broad brush here. The payroll on the highway is in that range of 84,000. Payroll is not included in claims. The reason I bring that up, as of the 13th, the cash balance of these funds, Cumulative Bridge has $85,297.33. Local road and street is $1169. It has a cash balance of $62,383.50. 1173 MVH restricted has a cash balance of $68,857.51. And 1176 has a cash balance of $47,481.82. That total balance, that cash balance I gave you of $69,73 and 76 is $178,722.83. Now, it's not broken. Every payroll is made, every contractor, every vendor is paid. So let's just get past that. Everyone is being paid, that's not a question. However, with the community crossing grant, I just want to bring in mind that that's a cash match, approximately $280,000 is going to be, again, ballpark, the amount that Owen County that has to come out of these funds. We pay, obviously you have a payroll, again, using my ballpark of $84,000 each month. The Highway Department will receive revenues in October, November, and December. The October receipts, at least as of the 15th, have not come in. Those are in the range of $125,000, 73 and 76. So money is coming in, but for everyone looking, trying to make, very hard decisions and taking a look at the bridge, it's going to be, right now there's $85,297 in the Q bridge. That will not increase. That will not increase until the December settlement. It will only have decreases. There's only going to be claims coming in. The other three, there's $178,000 in the cash balance. $280,000 of that 178 is already spoken for, so there will be more cash balance coming in. But just keep that in mind.
Thank you, Jim. I also have out of cycle claims here, it looks like for about $8,200 as well. I've got COVID clinic, I've got a couple of Visa cards here, 4 actually. So I want to include those in this claim approval. And also, Jim, and I want to have you touch base on this if you could, please. I've got a claim here to Owen Community Bank, which is the payoff to the storage units.
That has already been paid.
That's what I thought.
You guys didn't sign the cover sheet when it came through, so
Okay.
I just need signatures.
That's been paid.
That's paid.
I just wanted to make sure because I know it's been discussed a long time ago.
Yes.
Okay.
The signature sheet did not get
Okay,
signed.
so we're gonna sign this with the claims as well. So do I hear a motion to approve claims?
I make that motion to approve.
Have a motion by Bob,
I'll second.
have a second by Dale. All in favor? Aye. Guys, and I've got several sheets here, so bear with me, get them rolling. Bear with us just a few minutes here.
While you're signing, I will bring up about the Owen Community Bank. Yes, that loan is paid off. However, with Crane, the new company or that has taken over it, anybody that had accounts, they're basically putting $5 in their accounts. So we're gonna have to go and get that $5 off of there and make sure that they know that the fund, again, it's paid, so I don't know how to get it removed, so I'll be working on that too.
Okay, and if we need to go over there and deal with that like we have in other banks, that's fine. You guys are good with me continuing to talk while you sign, I'll keep blabbing here a little bit. Old business is dormant funds is the only thing we have in old business. And we have some dormant funds that we've been discussing that have been unused or untapped for some of them 2 or 3 years. Speaking with Jim earlier this evening, and this is my recommendation, that we hold these until the end of November to see where we're at with our financial on our general fund. At that point, then we can see if we need to use any of these funds to put into the general fund to cover those expenses. And if not, at that time, we will disperse those to different departments. That's my recommendation. Jim, you have any comment on that?
Well, I mean, the word itself, dormant funds, the fact that they're held for 30 more days would not really be significant. Some of these have been held for years. I think one of them was held for 4 or 5 years. The most important one, in my opinion, was the 4930, the Redevelopment Commission. That was scored out. That was $213,000 in the ballpark, and that's already been transferred into the general fund. So the total amount is in the range of about 45,000 dormant. Some of these have clearly been spoken from. Some of those would be more in the ambiguous category. We are getting within that 45-day range of the November 30th. So it would help if that's acceptable to the commissioners. If we wait until that first meeting in December, that will give you're going to know a number of things by that time. One, you're going to have about a crystal clear amount of how close the general fund got down to a zero before the settlement. Two, you're also going to know what balance was left in lead headed and riverboat. Now, just I don't talk a lot, but the general fund, you want that as close to zero as possible. On riverboat and lead headed, you want the opposite. You want as high as cash value remaining in those two. And that's going to be the true trick, of this, because whatever is in balance in riverboat on the 31st and lead edit, that's what the only you're going to have carryover for the next year. So if we did the dormant funds, if that's acceptable, let's just wait till December 1st. We're talking about 45 days, more or less. That would be substantial to how long they've been held.
You guys understand what we're talking about? We can use this money, if need be, to fill those gaps. Hopefully we don't have to, but at least we can save this back for a cushion until, again, 45 days, and some of it's been there for 4 or 5 years, so what's another month and a half? I'm gonna ask for a motion to hold these dormant funds for a decision until the December 1st meeting.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Dale. Do I hear a second?
One person would be the 6th of December.
Well, yeah, that's our first meeting. Yes, December 6th.
Yes.
Got a second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Assessor Kenny, come on up. Or holler from back there, whatever you want to do.
I've got another thing I'd like to discuss with you.
Sure. Kenny has brought us a contract for the reassessment, part of his office. And normally we ask for 3 of these, and we've got 1, and that's all you could get. So that's what we're going to go with, and I'll let Jim go from there.
Ken, do you mind if you would, just a little bit of an explanation that these were public notice and what actually this is, and I'll go ahead and open this.
Okay. They was published in the Herald Times and the Evening World, that we was accepting bids for the secular reassessment. Published twice, and the specs that was available to pick up. And Tyler Technology was the only one that picked on that.
And this is a received sealed bid, for the annual adjustment and cyclical reassessment contract for the Owen County Assessor. Definitely is sealed. It's gonna take me a second just to open that up if there's anything else, because this is sealed multiple ways here. Every way you can seal it, they sealed it.
Hey,
Dylan, I'm surprised you had that knife there. Hang on one second, I think I almost got it.
Screw, you didn't do it now, did it?
That did.
Where's your?
Jim, didn't you work for Federal Express?
I did,
So box opening wasn't part of your job then?
It was not. Okay, this is from Owen County, 2022-2026 annual adjustment and cyclical reassessment. It is October 15th. Original copy. This is here. Okay, it has the full questionnaire that is in the bid form. Okay, this is on the bid form. The undersigned, having reviewed specifications for the cyclical reassessment contract for Owen County, is hereby offered to perform the services described herein for the sum of $435,880. $435,880 by Tyler Technologies. It is signed by their inside sales manager, and it is dated. I'm gonna just check and make sure a few other forms to show that it's a responsive bid. Detailed proposal. Okay, it has the recitals, has all the agreement in here. It has different phases in there, and the expenses, the phases are $108,970 to the invoicing for June 22nd, June 23rd, June 24th, and June 25. Standards. It does have its drug-free workplace certification, identification, which is required, notice to parties. It has a non-collusion and acceptance agreement, has been signed. Place is signed by the commissioners. The signing document is on page 22 of 22. Annual contract addendums. Non-collusion affidavit. And it is notarized, and it's notarized by Karen Jackson of the Republic. It has the work plan. Here. So it would be a responsive bid. Obviously, commissioners, you can accept this bid. You may reject all bids, but it does appear at this time that there is only one submitted. And again, that's from Tyler Technologies.
Thank you, Jim.
Tyler's the company that we've been dealing with ever since the cyclical reassessment started. I guess that was in 2000.
How does that compare to the last contract that you had with, I'm sure it's went up.
But in the ballpark, I think.
Okay.
I expected it to be higher, but everything.
Everything else is exactly, yeah.
There's a bid form, just want to double check. Again, $435,880 for the time, and everything else is responsive. So if you want Kenny to review any of this before, or if he's satisfied, with the bid.
And I'm gonna let Kenny discuss that here.
I think we sort of had that we would review it and we would bring it before you guys at the next meeting.
next meeting. And that's probably be the best thing to do since it's the only one and you haven't actually seen it yet. So, I'm gonna take Kenny's recommendation and make a motion that we table this until our next meeting, which is, what is that, shit?
11-1.
November.
11/1, yes, November the 1st.
I'll second that.
And Dale seconds that. All in favor? Aye. We'll see you back then for that one.
The other thing I'd like to discuss with you is I'm in the process of losing the second employee. And both the employees did the field work. They did the measuring the houses and mobile homes and everything out in the field. What I'd like to do is explore a addendum to the contracts to have Tyler the new construction.
If it falls with, and this is just me speaking, it'll take legal counsel to confirm it, but if it falls within the same range as what that employee and those benefits would include, that total amount, I don't see a problem with it. Also, have you advertised those jobs?
It would, no, because he's not leaving until the 29th, so
Okay,
he just gave me his, 2-week notice today.
the other side of that, Kenny, and we'll discuss it however you want to, but also with the hiring freeze, it's totally my understanding that means no new employees, but you can still replace employees as you lose them.
But they wouldn't let me replace the first one I lost. And
That was in reassessment, correct? Or,
But they lifted the freeze. The council lifted the freeze at their last meeting, or 2 meetings ago, and you can replace employees that leave, you just can't replace.
Can't add.
Right.
so if you want to advertise these positions, you can do so as well.
I can advertise them, but
Why don't we do this, Kenny?
they're not gonna.
Why don't we advertise the positions, just so we said that we did give somebody out there an opportunity? And then again, Jim, you want to jump in here, guys, what do you think? But I think as long as whatever we're paying that employee with benefits doesn't exceed that amount from this other company, we're still in line budget-wise.
Try to stay within that budget.
Budgetary, but again, many times I'm a step behind, so I want to make sure, since we're talking about this company, we've got to be clear up a couple things. This bid that's being evaluated has absolutely nothing to do with.
No,
Correct.
not with the addendum.
All right, so I just want to make sure that's crystal clear, because no one else bid. So then we'd be talking about a second project, or whatever term we want to use and look at, but I would say that at this point, my recommendation would be an advertisement to make sure that you've exhausted all administrative remedies, that no one has applied or is willing to apply. But I think I would recommend that to be exhausted before an outsource.
Are you good with that, Kenny? At least advertise it for 2 weeks?
I have to be, I guess.
Well, I think that's fair to anyone out there.
I just know that there's nobody out there available,
And I understand it's a difficult
you know.
position to fill.
Yeah. It takes about 4 years to train somebody, to get them fully trained. And
Well,
the one that left, he had one class left to get, and he'd been there 4 years.
if we're gonna table, which we just did, that agreement till 2 weeks to the next meeting, we might as well advertise this job
Yeah,
until then as well.
I have no problem with
Okay.
advertising.
Okay.
It's just, I know I'm sort of running my head out of this a while.
You wanna go ahead and do, to run it in the Herald Times, cause I know the Evening World probably, they'll start 1st November, just once a week.
Yeah, well, is it 1st November?
It'll be up to Kenny wherever he wants to advertise it. He can advertise it on Indeed or on the bulletin board.
I'd just soon not do it through the Herald Times, I'd just soon do.
Indeed.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, then put it on the board downstairs. We got a comment here.
Yeah, I'm Kathy Gold with Taylor. technology
Uh-huh.
and stuff with Kenny. And, the position that he's kind of been put in right now is the current contract is the phase we're in right now, but this is new construction time that's supposed to be done by the end of the year, and mobile home starts January 1st. So it's kind of at a critical time not to wait too long to decide if someone else is gonna do it, or if somebody's gonna get hired and then trained up and complete 300 new construction parcels in the next 2 months.
So by giving him 2 weeks, you think that that's a fair assessment? It's not
Yeah,
gonna
I
put us
just
too
wanted-
far behind?
Yeah, but I just wanted to let everybody know it's kind of where, he's kind of at a crunch with some timelines.
Sure.
And it would just be talking about, just kind of helping in. And the contract that he's currently in, there are provisions in there if at any time, a county would need help with disclosures or new construction or whatever it may be, that there, we can go in and, pull those out as an addendum.
I think as a policy of the county, we've always, from every department, and department heads, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of you have been here a lot longer than I have, but our policy's pretty much been, that we've advertised these jobs for 2 weeks, either in the paper, Indeed, your boards at your offices. And we need to continue that because this is a position that somebody filled, it wasn't held by a contractor. If nobody fills it, then we'll move forward with Kenny's recommendation. Is that fair, Kenny?
Has to be.
You just want me to say yes, but I can't do that. Thanks, Kenny. Other than Bob, I didn't hear much comment there, so you guys are all good with that, I assume?
Yes.
All right. Greg, Highway Department.
Good evening, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'd like to report to you that Milestone is paving Steubenville Road at this time, community crossing. We are on target to finish tomorrow. They will be moving tomorrow, and they will start paving Cole Ross Road on Wednesday with an estimated time of 3 days, and an intent to start Walden Road on the following Monday morning. Barring any bad weather, that should be accomplished. The highway department themselves laid millings on the section of Jones Road between Truesdale and Schoolhouse last week. And that job is completed, and we spot paved in locations on Schoolhouse. My crews are currently working on Walden, trying to complete some needed drainage before Milestone moves in. We are currently laying the cold mix, Commissioners, on Vesadia Road. We will have been able to complete the road plan laid out in 2021 by the last Board of Commissioners, barring we will not be able to pave the streets of freedom. So when we do design a 2022 plan, I would request that we talk about the streets of freedom, and also there was a portion of Steubenville that we intended to pave ourselves if monies came available, and monies are not available. So we need to either place that on community crossings or look for other avenues next year. I do have to put a 2022 road plan together by November 15th. We are well on our way, but I need to turn that into INDOT, and that will have to be approved by the commissioners. So we will need either in a work session or each commissioner talk about do we intend to lay millings or what we intend to do in-house next year to add to the road plan, which we've already discussed in Grant Roads.
One road that we gotta put back on there is the chip and seal on Truesdale. We didn't get that done this year, and that was in this year's plan.
That is correct.
And that is on the west end of Truesdale from McFerrin,
From McFerrin to 230.
231. So we want to make sure we make note of that. And we've been lucky, Greg, with millings. I don't know if that's going to continue. We're gonna hope that it is. I've got some scuttlebutt out there that they're gonna try to cut back on those because they'd rather sell new material than the recycled material.
That is absolutely correct. I'm obtaining the same information, so the taxpayers know we could lay millings for about $38 a ton. We can lay them in-house. Hot mix is $58 a ton if we lay it, and then we have to include trucking with that. I'm laying it right now for $38 a ton, including our trucking. Commissioner Burton is correct. We obtain those materials from the asphalt companies when they mill roads, and counties that begin to use them to save money, so they're becoming very hard to get because they really sell us the asphalt and sell us the recycled product. It has been very successful. There are places we haven't learned. It's been a huge learning curve. It lays really well in flat areas where sunshine hits it. Doesn't do real well in some of the hills and hollers. We are trying a new product on Bessadia Road because of the distance that it took to travel Bessadia Road, the way we laid the millings process. We had to change up a little bit with a little different material. We'll see how that works. I will tell you, as of today, it is god-awful to work with. We have been, we can usually move somewhere in the neighborhood of 32 foot a minute with the paper, and we're moving at 12 foot a minute right now with this product. We do expect to have Bessadia done by Wednesday, but we'd hope to have it done. Commissioners, I passed out some photographs in front of you in regard to the new school. It is the Beach Church School. It is an Amish school. It's part of the Heritage Group. I was approached in regard to this school and a school zone. Today I was there and there was probably at 3:30, 20-some buggies in and out, children. They've done a lot of work. It's nice. They've got a long diamond that goes down Denmark Road. My suggestion, Jim, would be 500 feet on either side of the school as a school zone for Beach Church Road, on Denmark Road to the east, 500 feet, and then 1,500 feet from Denmark Road, from Beach Church Road on Denmark west, and that's because it would include the playgrounds, ball diamonds, etc. School hours are 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and it seems to follow the Spencer Owen schedule from what I have seen. I haven't seen an exact schedule, but that's what I've been advised.
Greg, and we talked about this briefly earlier, the ball diamonds and playgrounds, is that something that's going to be used non-school hours, as in should we put a children at play sign there as well? In case they're not, I mean, in case they're there and it's not school hours.
They will be. Not so much at night, there's no lights, but
Weekends?
time, yes.
Okay, so Jim, I'd recommend that we apply that to that as well.
Again, they've done a lot of work to that area, it looks very nice.
You guys have any problem with any of the questions or concerns?
Rather, if they're gonna do it on the weekend, like Saturday, there for their ballpark or Sunday, but one day, I'm not sure when.
They will not on Sundays.
Okay, Sundays, well, some of them I thought were Saturdays or something,
No, these folks will not on Sundays.
not on Sundays, but would be active during Saturday.
It could be, yes. Not all the time, but in nice weather.
Yeah, that's true too. We'll discuss that after.
We continue, hole patching, commissioners, right now. Hole patchers working on Schooling Road in Commissioner Curry's district. I will tell you, there's a lot of roads in bad shape with that one. Traffic that it gets is in pretty poor condition.
It definitely needs some attention.
It is. Not saying there aren't others. I've reported to the commissioners 3 years in a row until Best City was done, that I believe that would be the worst road in the county. Now that that's being done, I have a list of about 3 that rank our complaints.
That road gets a lot of school bus traffic because of the school being out there besides Walden, so.
It does.
Yeah.
Lastly, commissioners, before Jim starts with ordinances, we have spoken about bridges. Commissioners, I did somewhat what was required of me the last time when we built the Kelly Road Bridge. I reached out to some of the bridge companies who had bridge plans for specific bridges, which I could obtain for nothing. And the last time I got them through Big R, which is E3 Bridge. This time I was able to get plans for the bridge itself through CLR. I contacted Robert Crane, who is an engineer out of Bloomington, who engineered, went on site soil testing and engineered abutments, and approved the plans, the prefab plans. I had plans for bridges 16, which is the bridge on Rocky Hill Road. And then the next bridge up at, is fracture critical, that remains open, Bridge 44 in Wasatch Lake. These bridges have been engineered. I must inform you that the cost of engineering isn't cheap. The cost for each set of these plans and the bid documents by engineer Crane was at the cost of $5,000 each. I did save some money because the last through Netherlane Engineering for Kelly Road was $11,000.
Greg, what's the third bridge? Did you tell us that number?
I have the third bridge, and that's Bridge 189. I did not obtain engineering for this bridge, but I do have drawings, and I'm gonna give all this to Jim. I only have one copy of each of these commissioners, but Bridge 189 is the Server Road Bridge. We are doing repairs to the Server Road Bridge ourselves, but at some point in time, commissioners need to consider that bridge also.
44's been on the list for what, 3 years, 2 years?
44 has been recommended to replace prior to my arrival at the highway department, so at least 5 years, 44 has been recommended to be replaced. What has occurred is like Bridge 16, as bridges have to be closed, 44 continues to be pushed back. But I will tell you at some point in time, 44 will have to be closed.
It'll be turned into an emergency like 16.
It will. Commissioners, I was only at this point in time able to retain one copy of these. I'd like Jim to have these for his review. I know Sheila needs a copy, et cetera, so the only person that I know can make these copies of these are in the building department. I can take these down tomorrow and have her copy these and disperse them appropriately.
Yeah, why don't we do that? That way we all have a copy, and then Jim can get them, and then we can move forward with any bid proposals at that point.
Okay.
So commissioners, you have ordinances. You may have as few as 5, you may have as many as 99. So let me kind of explain that. At the last meeting, ordinance number 23, 24, 25, and 26 had a first reading. These are all to establish speed limits on the following roads. Ordinance 23 is Adele Road. Ordinance 24 is Steubenville Road. Ordinance 25 is Culrest Road. And ordinance 26 is Walden Road. These ordinances are identical with the obvious exception of specifying which road, Adele, Steubenville, Culrest, or Walden. The speed limit that was established on all four of these ordinances, 23, 24, 25, and 26, was a 30 mile per hour speed limit. These were read, they were voted on, they were approved 2-1. However, the first reading, in order for these to go into effect, they must be unanimous. So, I was requested to draft 28, 29, 30, and 31 for these exact same roads at a speed limit of 40 miles an hour. At this point, those have not been read yet, but I just clarified. So, in order for the first procedure would be, is that the second reading, which will just be as follows, ordinance 2021-23 is for Adele Road. Ordinance 2021-24 is for Steubenville Road. Ordinance 2021-25 is Culrest Road. And ordinance 2026 is the speed limit on Walden Road. The maximum speed limit for Adele Road shall be 30 miles an hour. The speed limit for Steubenville Road, 30 miles an hour. The speed limit on number 25, Culrest Road, will be 30 miles an hour. And the maximum speed limit for Walden Road, ordinance number 2026, is 30 miles an hour. These procedurally have to be resolved first before we can move on to 28, 29, and 30. So therefore, it would be whether there's a motion at this point or not, or discussion, or a vote. However, this being the second reading, it does not have to be unanimous on 23, 24, 25, and 26. Getting way ahead, if these are voted down, tabled, whatever is done, on the new reading of 28, 29, 30, 31, that vote would have to be unanimous. So what's before you would be at this time the second reading of ordinance 23, 24, 25, the speed limits, and this is for 30 miles an hour.
And I'll read those by ordinance number and road individually, so we know what roads we're discussing. So do I hear a motion to approve 2021-0023 speed limit for Adele Road? Do I hear a motion? No motion? It fails. Do I hear a motion for ordinance number 2021-024 for Steubenville Road? And I'll make that motion. Hearing no second, it fails. Motion, excuse me, do I hear a motion for 2021-025 Culross Road, 30 mile an hour? I'll make that motion. No motion? Fails. Ordinance 2021-0026 Walden Road, for 30 mile an hour. Do I hear a motion? All four of them failed, Jim.
Okay, so if we may, and with your permission, before we go to the 40 miles an hour, there's an ordinance 27, which is simple amendment, just to keep that procedure, if we could do this one first. Now, this is a first reading. A little backdrop, the superintendent had come in and talked about the construction cost, that it was, this is my opinion, it's not there. It became cost prohibitive to continue to do the culverts and the stonement costs there. So there was a request by the superintendent to amend the driveway permit ordinance, whereas the highway department would now be out of the private installation of culverts. Meaning, if someone came up there, if this is passed, and said, highway, I need you to install a culvert at cost just of the culvert and of the stone, that would no longer be the case. So that's what this amendment is. So this is ordinance number 2021-27. It's an ordinance amending ordinance number 2019-0012, which is titled the Ordinance Establishing Driveway Permit and Culvert Installation. Whereas the Owen County Board of Commissioners desires to amend ordinance number 2019-0012, ordinance establishing driveway permit and culvert installations. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners, County of Owen, ordinance 2019-0012, section 7 and section 9 is hereby amended by this ordinance and shall read as follows. Section 7 is now hereby vacated in its entirety. The amended section 7 now reads as follows. On all driveways assessed off of Owen County highways, the Owen County Department shall not install new driveway culverts in those driveways do not previously have a driveway culvert, nor will the highway department replace any existing defective driveway culverts for any private owners. All applicants for the driveway permit must at their own expense adhere to all conditions stated in section 6 of this ordinance. All driveway permits expire 60 days from the day of issuance. Section 9 and the incorporated Exhibit A is hereby vacated in its entirety. This amendment shall be in full force and effect upon its adoption and publication by law. This will be passed and adopted, if so done, by the Board of Commissioners of Owen County, State of Indiana, at a regular meeting held on today's date and month of 2021. Owen County Board of Commissioners, Gary Burton, President, Robert Curry, Vice President, Del Du Bois, Commissioner, and attested by Sheila Reeves, Auditor.
Thank you, Jim. All right, gentlemen, do I hear a motion to approve? What number was this again, Jim? 27.
27.
Ordinance number 2021-0027, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2019-0012, an ordinance establishing driveway permit and culvert installation. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion by Dale. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Bob. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And before Jim reads these new ordinances, I'm gonna ask you gentlemen, have you drove all 4 of these roads that we're asking for a speed limit?
Yep.
Greg, Colross Road, how wide is that at the end of that one section? 14, 15 foot wide?
16.
16 foot. So 2 cars cannot pass on that road at 40 mile an hour. They couldn't pass at 20 mile an hour. They'd have to pull over and let one go by. Am I correct?
The Colrose Road, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, if I may, now this is, even though these are the same roads, this is the first reading of ordinances 28, 29, 30, and 31. Now, these are all the same, so I'm going to only read one, and I'm going to substitute the name, but they're identical in every way. So ordinance number 2021-28, 29, 30, and 31. This is an ordinance, these are ordinances establishing the maximum speed limit on Adele Road, 28, Steubenville Road, 29, Culver's Road, number 30, and Walden Road, 31. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Owen County desires to maintain its streets and jurisdiction safe and secure from dangerous traffic patterns. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Owen County find this proposed ordinance will promote the health, safety, comfort, and general welfare of the citizens of Owen County. Whereas 921-5-6 allows the county to decrease the speed limit outside of an urban district to not less than 30 miles per hour after performing engineering and traffic investigation. Whereas the Owen County Department has received complaints regarding excessive speed on Adele Road, Culver's Road, Steubenville Road, and Walden Road, and has conducted the required engineering and traffic investigation. Now therefore be ordained by the Board of Commissioners of Owen County as follows. Section 1, the maximum speed limit for Adele Road, Steubenville Road, Culver's Road, and Walden Road shall be 40 miles per hour. Alden Road, Culver's Road, Steubenville Road, and Walden Road are all located outside of an urban district in Owen County, Indiana. This altered speed limit established by this ordinance is effective at all times, and appropriate signs giving notice of the altered speed limit are erected on the streets as required by Indiana Code 921-56C. Section 3, any person violating this ordinance will be subject to a fine of $75, as further said in Ordinance 2018-31 and incorporated by reference. The operator shall be liable for any and all costs incurred by the Owen County prosecution to collect the said fine, including but not limited to court costs and attorney fees. Section 4, this ordinance supersedes all other ordinances or parts of ordinances which are conflict of provisions, and such ordinances are hereby repealed. All prior ordinances and resolutions in conflict and inconsistent are hereby expressly repealed. Section 5, severability. The various provisions of this ordinance will be considered severable, and if any part or portion of this ordinance is held invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, such holding and decision shall not affect the validity of the remaining provisions of this ordinance should remain in full force and effect. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its adoption and publication by law, passed and adopted by the Board of Commissioners, Owen County, State of Indiana, a regular meeting held on today's date and month, 2021. Owen County Board of Commissioners, Gary Bird, President, Robert Curry, Vice President, Delta Boys Commissioner, Sheila Reeves, Auditor. Again, 28 is Adele, 29 is Steubenville, 30 is Colrose, and 31 is Walton.
All right, gentlemen, do I hear a motion for approval of ordinance number 2021-28, Adele Road, 40 mile an hour?
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion by Dale, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Ordinance number 2021-29, Steubenville Road, maximum speed limit 40 mile an hour. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make another motion.
Have a motion by Dale, do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a second by Dale, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
So, if I may, just for clarification, 28 is passed unanimously. Madam Auditor, that must be published 2 times in there. 29 has passed by majority vote. If it's not unanimous, it must be read at the next meeting.
Ordinance, do I hear a motion for ordinance number 2021-30, Call Ross Road, maximum speed limit 40 mile an hour? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second? Motion by Bob, second by Dale, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay. Ordinance number 2021-31, Walden Road, that's out by McCormick's Creek School, 40 mile an hour. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion by Dale, do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a second by Bob, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Again, apologize just for the clarification, 29, 30, and 31 have had a first reading, they passed by majority vote, but they are not unanimous. They would require a second reading at the next regular scheduled commissioners meeting.
You have anything else, Jim?
Oh, no, that's it. And just for clarification, 27 just needs 1 publication. 22, since it has a penalty, does require two separate publications. No, nothing else.
Anything else, Craig?
Gentlemen, I want to clarify on these
That public comment.
speed limits on these roads just a little bit. At the direction of the last Board of Commissioners on all the new roads, Highway Department was directed when we built a new road to ask for the 30 mile an hour speed limit. The only thing that I would ask, I mean, it's a lot of work to do, is after we get through this next set of ordinance, I get some kind of consensus of what we're going to do. Because Highway Department believed we were doing what we were asked to do. So we just want some sense of consensus. Probably more work for Jim than I.
It is, and I hate it for
have to
you.
do the same amount of work, whether it's 40 mile an hour or it's 30 mile an hour. But,
Some of these blacktop roads aren't safe at 30 mile an hour, let alone 40.
that would be my only, request when we go forward for 2022 on our new blacktop roads. Maybe we have a discussion ahead of time of what we think.
And the sheriff's here, I know before you said it didn't matter what we put them at, but if they're marked at 30, they're gonna run 40. If they're marked at 40, they're gonna run 50. That's kind of the character of the beast, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I hate to say it, spending thousands for them speed limit signs that, nobody pays attention to. But I will have to say this, we installed a new program in all of our, most of our squads and cars, it's an e-ticket program. And, we just got it installed a couple of weeks ago, and, they can punch out the citation and ticket pretty quick now. It's not handwritten, they just punch it in the computer and prints it out, so it's being used pretty drastically, so we've got some ideas of where we're going to be setting up and monitoring some of these roads. Freeman Road's one of them, I'll just tell the public right now, we're gonna bust you with Freeman Road. If that's a war zone down there sometimes, you know.
Is that 40 mile an hour right now? It is, isn't it? Yeah.
We lost the guys in 64. We got a nice ticket for us, but I just like to tell everybody, speed limit signs are there for a reason. It's like any other law, abide by the rules, whether you like it or you don't like it, you need to abide by what the speed limit is. And most of the people that we pull over, they're running late. My suggestion is you need to leave early. I mean, it's not rocket science, so, but you're right, you post 40, they'll run 50. Post 30, they're going to run 40. They don't look at stuff, they don't look at it.
Yeah.
We're hoping we're gonna make some, dents in that by these, tickets and citations.
Well, that's a good program. I'm glad to hear about that, and thanks for your input.
Lastly, commissioners, you were aware that I had, openings with no applications. We did have 2 people return that had been laid off, so, my staff is up by 2, and,
Good.
2 people helps immensely, it really does.
Well, while you're here, I'll give you a pat on the back, which I try to do as much as I possibly can, and you deserve it a lot, both of you guys here and your whole crew. I've got several phone calls from up Smith Road, Jones, Schoolhouse, got several today, thanking you guys for the hard work that you put in. They haven't seen work up there in a long time, so they appreciate it. So I just want to let you know that those calls are coming in to me, and I want to make sure I share that with you guys. So appreciate that. While you're here, Greg, I have a public comment from some citizens out on Oberhauser Road. Is that correct? Do you want to address that now while you're here?
Might as well.
Go ahead, folks.
Thanks for letting us come back in again.
Sure.
It's been about 6 months. Our good neighbor, Martin Peggy Wolf, and my name is Bill Greenwood. I have a house there at 1800. And when we left the last meeting, you had mentioned that there might be some grant money coming, and we kind of left hopeful, not overly optimistic.
It will be for next year. The grant money's always a year behind.
It is?
Yes,
So it wasn't anything that,
not for this year. No, that money has already been committed on the 2021 road plan in 20.
Right, that's the reason why I spoke. We're gonna have to develop the 2022 road plan that I have to have in by November 15th.
Right, and that road is in Dale's district, so that will be his decision on, what road he picks in his district. So you might wanna butter him up or talk to him nice or something, I don't know, but.
we can try.
There you go.
When we read in the paper shortly after that meeting, we saw that some grant money come in this year, and then you posted that there was like 4 roads, and I thought, oh, we didn't get any, we thought,
Right.
and all our hopes were gone.
Don't give up yet. It's like I said, it's always a year behind, so
Now, I did have Greg check your road today, just for curiosity, and he said that they have graded it, new stone on it, so it's in decent shape as far as that goes. Is that correct?
For now.
Okay. I know it's a gravel road. It won't take long, but,
Yeah, we appreciate that. There was a couple of things though, that happened between that last meeting and now. And you're probably aware of part of it, the rain, heavy rain that we had.
which one?
Well, yeah, what was this year, but 6 inches of rain. I think.
Right.
And it caused some damage, quite a bit, but right before that, they came down through there and cut the tree limbs along that woods where Smithville ties into Overhooser. And all the limbs and everything that they cut off there, it all fell down in the ditch and it just piled up and dammed it up. And when that rain came, along with the culverts that go under the road at Smithville, and when the trucks or whatever come around there, probably grain trucks, as much as they cut that too close around there and get to the end of that culvert on each end, and they got those bent down. So that's another restriction for water not to be able to go through there like it should.
So you're talking about the intersection of your road and Smithville Road?
Yes.
Okay.
I brought these pictures, I'll show them to you. This is the ditch full of brush. Right across from that, at the intersection of where that water rolled out of there and washed all that gravel out. These are the culvert each end pinched down, probably cut down at least 25% of the water would flow. It was open all the way. I would say, thankfully, it's set that way with the road washed out probably a good month. I know you guys were busy probably at that time chasing everything that were similar problems. But thanks to our good neighbors around there, a guy came out one day with his tractor and a box grader and moved all that gravel around and filled all those washed out places. Made it a lot better.
Well, the one thing I will tell you, in this rural county, there was one point in time during the summer, I was only operating 13 people. With the COVID and the people that I had, and I couldn't hire anybody. I don't even have applications today. I had to leave some people off, but I was able to hire them off, hire them back. When I took over the first summer crew I had, and I was looking at the roster, Sunday, I had 32 people. I had 13 this summer. So, it was really hard to get over a lot of things, and those are just facts. During the rain, the commissioners are where I lost several bridges and culverts during that process. And I had a lot of help from the citizens, and that I will tell you, we have to appreciate. I've got a good community that steps out. A lot of the farmers, not just in your area, but up around outlying area, help us out a lot. I'm probably not supposed to promote that, but the credit has to come where the credit's due. It's a fact. As for the culvert, probably what needs to go on there, commissioners. Over the years, you see this with our bridges and all, but equipment gets bigger. The trucks go into and from, that's an agricultural area. Culvert probably needs extended to keep that open.
Again, that's Dale's district. I'll speak a little bit on it. I mean, obviously, you go out there and assess the situation, and if it needs a bigger pipe, longer pipe, it's something that we need to put on the schedule for whenever you can get to that in your plans that you already have going. I know that pipes went up 204%, galvanized pipe. So if we don't have one on the lot, probably not right now, it's not the time to buy one, but
we can straighten it out if we can't get
Sure.
one in.
I'll suggest that you help the gentleman and those folks out there, any way we can at the present. And then we'll discuss what roads are gonna be done for 2022.
And so everyone knows, the hard surfaces that gets laid on these roads, the commissioners make those decisions. And we do that, the normal everyday maintenance, we try to schedule ourselves, commissioners do direct throughout their district as to what they, want us to do at different times, but all hard surfaces will be decided in one of these meetings.
I'm not trying to be critical of you. I know times are hard for help and everything and money too, but I just wanted to let you know how good that people around there are about helping out when we have a problem.
And we do appreciate those citizens, and Greg knows, I've got a small farm out where I'm at, and I get out and mow the roadside and do whatever I can to help them out, because I know that they're shorthanded and busy. It's just something that I do. Not only that, I like my place to look halfway decent.
Yeah.
So.
My other guy, he has a excavator, and he reached in there and brought that brush out and put it back in the woods.
There you go. That's the guy you need to be good friends with, right?
Then when that water at the other end of the asphalt I told you last time that I had put in.
Right.
Paid, it's on a slope downhill, and when that rain came, it washed all that gravel, it came all down on that asphalt. I cleaned all of that off. And when we got the gravel the other day, they must have spread it, and they came north, and it's probably hard to cut it off, but they let the truck go out, and I got about 30 feet of my asphalt covered up again, gravel.
We'll just have to make a note on that part.
Now, I could go out and clean that off, but I don't know when that asphalt was laid, but now we're being kind of critical here with each other. That's a pretty cool piece of asphalt left there. Now, it's full of holes. It needs to be patched. I know that, but I'm sure that at some point in time that there was an agreement where the commissioners did allow citizens to lay asphalt. It is deteriorating.
Yeah, about 10 years.
So,
Would you say we've got roughly how many weeks before we have to finish this plan?
November 15th.
Okay.
Now, what I do know about Overhauls Road, because we've discussed it before, and the commissioners have, or at least the last board of commissioners, I'm sure this one is the same way, they've tried to fulfill some promises that were made by prior boards. I can tell you that this is one of the roads in Dale's district, which will also include Pleasant Hill, Oberholzer, the road that goes by Ledgerwood Sawmill. I've got so many Pleasants with something in it.
that you?
That could be Pleasant View, Pleasant Hill and Pleasant View, both in Dale's, all three of these in Dale's district were ground up at one point in time, and citizens were told the roads would be paved. That was long before my time,
Right.
but it is fact.
And I'll vouch for you on that, because I do know that Pleasant View is definitely one of those that's been discussed for 3 years.
Right. So this road is included on some of that, commissioners.
Well, I'm gonna say at this point, with this discussion, it's between you three. Obviously, Dale's gonna make the decision in his district, but to come with this, we got a month basically to come up with the finalized road, so.
When you, it's federal money that.
State money, yeah.
It's not federal. I was told that if a road is, and maybe for state too, I don't know, it's reached a certain condition, and you're short on funds, that you can apply if it's bad enough? Is that how you get that?
No, the community crossings, they offer that statewide to every county, and you apply for it. If your paperwork's in order, we can get up to, be awarded up to $1 million, and we have to have a matching grant of $250,000 to go along with that. So it's $1.25 million total. Now, the state has in the past accepted, like last year, we got the full $1 million when we added the bridge. Previous years, we've been short, sometimes $100,000, sometimes $150,000.
971,000.
This time, yeah, so we got like 29,000 short of the $1 million. And then it's also based on the condition of the road. There's a phaser scale that the highway uses to go out and rate these roads. And there's some really, really bad roads out here in the county. And that's the other thing. We can't go out here and pick a road that's rated a 6, which means it's in good shape, versus a 1 that's totally destroyed. So if you come in here, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but if you come in here and say, hey, I want my road paved, put it on the list, and it rates a 6 or a 7, and I've got a road somewhere else that rates a 1 or 2, that's what the state's gonna look at, and they're gonna turn your road down. And I know that for a fact because it happened 2 years ago when Mr. Williamson was still sitting here. He picked a road that he wanted done, and it got rejected because it wasn't low enough on the phaser scale. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Do you think that when ours is, washed out like that, was the spring that we rated that road as a 2 or 1 or 2?
First of all, it's a gravel surface, so it's not part of that rating system.
But it was paved.
I just said that.
I know.
Now, but the one thing I will say, as far as washouts, I've got the sheriff sitting in here with me. I had parts of Owen County devastated that I'm still trying to replace bridges and things. I'm sorry to say, but in regard to washouts after that rain, that was minimal as far as some of the damages that we've suffered throughout the county. That may not be an easy pill to swallow, but it's the truth. Now, what I do believe could work with that road is either, as far as it is, a millings or a coal mix, and then come back in about 3 years and throw a chip seal on top of it, and that would make that road back to a hard surface. But the commissioners would have to decide what roads in those areas, if they even want to do those types of projects next year. That's where I need your guidance, because those are decisions that come from you.
And Lenny's trying to guide us on that part of it too.
That's correct.
I'd suggest where we're at right now, so we don't sit here and talk about the same thing all night long, is you get a hold of your commissioner and have a discussion, and we'll see where we can come at it.
Let me know sometime, come by and we'll go for a drive.
Do you have a card or
Huh?
a card that I can?
Business card.
Phone
I
number?
don't have a business card.
I'll get you a number here in just a minute. Before you leave, I'll get it
All right.
Well, we'll try. We'll see what we can get done for you.
Thanks for letting us come back.
No, anytime. It's what we're here for. Thank
Darn
you.
bad.
All right. That finish up, Greg, or you have anything else?
for you. No, that's all.
Okay. Sam, to keep things rolling, you have anything this evening? Okay. Chris? It's good to see both of you here anyway. And you're not got anything to complain about, so that's even better, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we'll go to elected officials and department heads, and that puts Kathleen on the hot seat. You're gonna pass tonight too. You guys are awesome. I may buy you a cup of coffee here or something afterwards.
I think she's working for a dinner.
Any other public comments? Jeff, nothing? Mr. Durrell?
I thought the meeting started at 7.
It starts at 6, yeah.
Did anything get done on,
Did you hear the discussion with the bridge plans? Greg got a set of engineered plans.
He wasn't here.
Okay. We do have a set of engineered plans for that area out there. They've been given to the attorney. He's going to go over them. If everything's suitable, then we can put that out for bid. If we go through this whole process, it's about 3 months before it would finally be accepted. Then it would probably be another 3 months before the bridge would actually get, so 6 or 7 month process, just to give you a general idea. But we do have a set of stamp plans. Okay? Am I correct there, Jim, on?
Yeah, but there's engineered plans that Greg presented, he's making copies for the commissioners. Once those are reviewed, they would come back to the commissioners meeting, put those out for bid. That's a two-step process, meaning that once they go out for bids, they have to be advertised 2 separate times. You have to, by state statute, give us an amount of time for people to respond, then they would be opened and here. If they're satisfactory, then it'd be a notice to proceed. But I would say very realistically, in anything we've ever did in the past, it's about a 6-month period of time.
Okay. That's as honest an answer that we can give you, and,
I realize that.
okay, I just wanna make sure we're doing everything we can. And the first of the year, just so you know, that Cume Bridge Fund will be built back up. So right now it's depleted because of the other projects that we already had. You guys have any comments for anyone out there? Jim, you have anything else? Madam Auditor?
Bank letter.
Yes. Sheila has a bank letter here to take her name off of the building account and the health department account, which she was on both of them and no longer needs to be on those accounts. So I'm gonna make it's got all 3 of our signatures on here, so I'm gonna make a motion that we approve this and all of us sign it so we can get that taken care of. Here, I make it, okay, I got a second from Bob, all in favor? Aye. Dale, you have any comments?
Nope.
Bob? That
We supposed to do anything about
Jim will take care of that.
Okay.
It's just
it.
notification.
I want to make sure.
Yeah. That all you had, Bob? Sheila, do you have anything else besides that? I'm kind of bouncing around here. Nothing? Dale, you have anything?
No.
Okay, I got one quick thing and we'll get out of here. Here a little longer than I'd planned. Talked about time management. We've talked about it and talked about it. I have finally got a quote from Gordon Flesh, and it is to adapt to our temperature monitors. I think I've mentioned this before, the existing machines that we have, the one that you got in the courthouse, and you all have one in your respective buildings. For $25,000, the software, and that is a one-time fee. And they will service and support that for 5 years at that cost. So basically it's $5,000 a year. We're still working out the bugs on it before we bring it to any kind of proposal or whatever. But just wanted to put that out there, and I've got another company that's give us a quote as well. So we're still working on some type of time management that will take care of both of these, saying that they've got some type of benefit. They can control that. They can keep an eye on that for us. They can keep comp time, those type of things will be recorded as well. And they also put up a flag when you've got max on comp time, max on vacation, those kind of things that you guys would see directly. So trying to help the department heads out a little bit. So anyway, that's still in the works. We got 3 months before the end of the year, and of course we've got money restraints as well. So, but I just wanted to put that out there that we are still working on doing that. And I'm gonna guess that for that kind of money, with the over comp time and things like that that we've extended, would probably pay for that pretty quick. So that's all I have. Motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Did you make the motion?
I meant, yeah, just takes one. Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Jim, I got a couple of things for you.
All of you know, the end of this,